Small towns are supposed to be safe, predictable, quiet. But on Huss Street in Tiffin, Ohio, quiet was shattered by gunfire. And what police found inside the home was so devastating that even seasoned officers struggled to speak. 4 bodies, 2 of them children. A crime so sudden and violent that the community is still trying to understand why it happened and whether it could have been stopped. On November 19th, just after 6:30 p.m., Tiffin police were dispatched to the 100 block of Huss Street after frantic calls from neighbors. The reports were alarming: screaming, shouting, and then multiple gunshots. But not just one, several. Rapid, sharp, deliberate, and then suddenly silence. When officers arrived, nothing outside the home suggested the horror waiting inside. No broken windows, no signs of forced entry, no overturned furniture on the porch. To the casual eye, the house looked undisturbed. But once officers stepped in, they were confronted with a scene that will haunt them for years. 4 people lay dead. Among them, 7-year-old Ren, a 7-month-old baby, and 29-year-old Dustin Willey, the man who had come to help the mother move out. The shooter was 42-year-old Ryan Eagon, the woman's husband and father of the infant, and his body lay nearby, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It quickly became clear, this wasn't a random attack. This wasn't a moment of temporary madness. It was a calculated, controlled, deliberate act of violence. The tragic finale of a domestic situation that had been deteriorating behind closed doors. Earlier that day, the mother had returned to the home to collect her belongings. It was supposed to be a step toward a safer future. She believed Eagon was out of town for work. She believed she had time. She believed he wouldn't be there. She was wrong. Police now believe Eagon either staged his absence or returned unexpectedly, creating the perfect storm. Was he watching the house? Tracking her? Did he know she was planning to leave for good? Did he prepare for this moment? Or was this the sudden breaking point of a man consumed by jealousy, fear, and a desperate need for control? The crime formula asks us to look at patterns, and domestic violence cases are full of them. Control is often the root. Control over a partner. Control over the home. Control over the children. And when that control slips, the danger skyrockets. Research consistently shows that the most dangerous moment for a victim is the moment they decide to leave. And that is exactly what she tried to do. But the tragedy didn't end with her. Inside the home, Eagon killed not only her but her 2 children, and Willey, the father of 7-year-old Ren. Why target the children? Why eliminate Willey? Was this revenge? Punishment? A twisted belief that if he couldn't keep the family, no one could? Or did he intend to cause the maximum emotional devastation possible? Investigators are trying to piece together Eagon's mental descent. Friends and acquaintances described him as unpredictable in the weeks before the murders. Paranoid, emotionally unstable, and increasingly isolated. Were these warning signs dismissed? Did anyone see how fragile his state had become? Were threats made? Was there stalking? Did he hint at violence? Police are now combing through text messages, phone records, internet searches, financial activity, anything that could reveal premeditation. They're looking for signs of planning, such as altered schedules, weapon purchases, or messages that show he sensed he was losing control of his family. But one detail continues to disturb investigators: the timing. The mother arrived believing he wasn't home. Did he intentionally make her think he was gone? Did he park his vehicle somewhere else? Did he leave clues suggesting he was working away? Or did he simply return, find her moving out, and explode in an irreversible act of violence? Every scenario is chilling. What's even more harrowing is the presence of the children. In many suicides, the killer focuses on the partner. But when children are targeted, it signals something far darker, either deep-seated rage or an unhinged sense of ownership. Did Eagon view the children as extensions of himself? Did he believe he was taking them with him? Or did he aim to inflict the deepest, most permanent pain on their mother, ensuring she carried a wound she could never heal? These questions weigh heavily on investigators and the grieving community. Tiffin is a small city, and the aftermath of this tragedy has left residents shaken. Candlelight vigils were held, flowers piled on the sidewalk, families wept with strangers, and throughout it all, one question echoed through the town like a haunting chorus. Could this have been prevented? Domestic violence rarely appears suddenly. It grows, it builds, it escalates, and many wonder whether the signs were visible, whether there were previous police calls, undisclosed threats, or private moments of fear the mother had shared with friends. Police have not released whether there were prior reports or intervention attempts, but they have confirmed the investigation is complex. They are analyzing not only what happened that night, but everything leading up to it, because the answer may lie weeks, months, or even years before the murders. Meanwhile, the mother, the only surviving member of the immediate family, now faces unimaginable loss. She must reconstruct the events leading up to the tragedy for investigators, reliving details she may wish she could forget. She carries the guilt victims often feel, guilt that doesn't belong to her, guilt for actions she didn't cause, guilt for choices she should never have had to make. And the community must confront the uncomfortable truth. Tragedies like this don't erupt randomly. They grow quietly until the silence explodes. The real question now is how many other families live in that silence, and whether systems meant to protect them are strong enough to intervene before the breaking point. For now, the investigation continues, searching for answers that may help prevent the next tragedy. But the people of Tiffin are left with a painful reminder. Sometimes the greatest danger isn't a stranger in the night, but the person standing inside the home, carrying wounds no one can see until it's too late. And the silence that follows? It's as heavy as the loss itself. Stay alert, stay questioning. Subscribe for updates as we keep pushing toward answers in a case where the silence is louder than the facts, and the truth is still somewhere in the shadows.